Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Hey, this is Eric McKinley, and I'm the Director of Program Development of National Business Builders. And today, um, today I want to talk about something that is going to affect a lot of families. Okay, so do me a favor as you jump on, drop your city and your state, like it, share it, and tag someone. And give me a second because I want to go ahead and tag a couple of groups as well and a couple of people. Um, Give me a second. Hope y'all had a productive day today. Hope y'all doing okay. Um, I'm about to I'm about to tone down on some of these videos and some of these trainings because um, for me for me it's about time and um, not just I don't think I'm getting out of it what I really need to get out of it. So you're gonna be seeing me in the very near future uh, tone a peel back. Okay, gonna be kind of peeling back on some of these videos. But I do want to share this information with you. Let's see, and see if I can share with a couple of people. Yeah, for me, it's always about time, man. If it's not really cost effective time wise, then it's not gonna, you know. So I know I am reaching some people, and I know that people are seeing the information, but it's just I don't know. For me, it's just I don't like wasting time, but I do want to share some information with you, and hopefully this makes sense to you. Um, I'm gonna say this one time. I'm not gonna say it anymore because at this point, nobody wants to be or feel like they're being belittled anyway. Nobody wants to be fussed at. Nobody wants to say I told here I told you so. Nobody wants that. Okay, nobody wants that at all. And I don't think it's not. I don't think it's that time. I mean, this is not a situation of I told you so. This is a situation of let's get some answers, let's get some resolve, and let's go ahead and start fixing this thing before anybody is gravely damaged um by what's going on. So, I tagged a couple of people. I'm gonna hit a couple of groups as well. Let me see if if I can share this to a couple of groups, and then from there, man, I'll be ready to discuss. There's no slides tonight. Um, and I wasn't gonna do it, but I felt like it was something that needed to be done, and it needs to be done, I think, and talked about because of how society and how society actually responds to certain things and how the government responds to its citizens, and also to remind you and let you know that the government don't give two shakes about the people. Yeah, we live in the richest or the wealthiest country in the world. I get it. Live in the wealthiest country in the world. But we still got to be individually responsible for what we do. And the government can care less about our well being. They can care less. But I'm going to share some things with you. It may make some sense to you. It may not. If it applies to you, man, listen, take it. But if it doesn't apply to you, I'm not talking to you. But for those of you who hear this information and take heed to it, then you'll kind of understand what's going on. So I'm going to bring up uh, another page, and I want you to read this for yourself. Okay, as I read along, I want you to see it for yourself. Okay, and I want you to understand what this really means. So I don't know if you seen the caption. I don't know if you saw the caption or not. Um, but this is some of the top stories, and I'm going to go with I'm going to go with, you know what? I'm going to go with a link that I had on my social media page. So give me a second. I'm gonna grab that and open that one up because I want y'all to read and see what I see, and then I want to get some honest opinions, and then we're gonna talk about some solutions. Okay, so I'm gonna read this. I want to get some honest opinions. Now you good, man? Um, and then I'm gonna talk. We're gonna talk about some solutions. So let me go ahead and share my StreamYard. I believe if that's Aiken, I believe that's Luther. Thanks for reaching out, man, and checking in, man. I appreciate it. Brother Sherrod, thanks. I appreciate it, man. And let me see who this other user is because they're on another platform. So let me check them out. All right, that's Jenny. All right, hey, thanks, Jenny. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm gonna keep teaching. I mean, I'm gonna keep teaching, but I like I said, I like guarding my time. And the most challenging thing to do is to tell somebody what they already know that they need to do to protect themselves. So this is only applying to people who wants the information. Hey, Lisa, thanks for jumping on. So I'm gonna share my screen because, like I said, I got to guard my time on my piece as well, and I don't have time to I don't have time to be. You see, my biggest thing, ladies and gentlemen, is this. This is my biggest thing. I want to see everybody. I want to see everybody win. But the truth of the matter is, everybody ain't gonna win. And the reason why everybody ain't gonna win is because people are hard headed. People are hard headed. People are in competition with each other instead of trying to pull each other along or encourage each other. People are deceitful, deceptive. That's just the world. So you can't change that. And I'm not the person that's going to leave breadcrumbs along the path. So if you happen to change your mind or decide to, get off your hind parts and do something about your personal situation, that's not me. That ain't me. So I'm not doing that. So if somebody else wants to kumbaya and hold people's hands, I'm going to hold people accountable, and I want people in my circle that's going to hold me accountable as well. That's just me. But you're right, Jen. I'm going to keep on teaching. That's not going to change, okay? That is not going to change. So, um, and this information, as I share it, this is how I'm giving it, okay? This is how it's given to me. So for this information, everybody's not going to receive how I'm saying it. At this point in time, I don't care. I don't. But I need y'all to get off y'all's feelings and start looking at what's going on. And what's going on is that there's about to be a lot of people. There's about to be a lot of people in financial turmoil. Hey Tanya, how you doing? Thanks for jumping on. I appreciate it. There's going to be a lot of people in financial turmoil. If you're thinking that the pandemic had you in an uproar and had you in financial despair, think about what's getting ready to go down and what's coming down the pipe. Now, I'm not an analyst. That's not my job. I am a visionary and I'm a seer. And it doesn't take someone with prescription glasses, bifocals, someone who can read to the future and all that stuff to see what's going to happen. Wells Fargo is one of the biggest banks, one of the biggest financial institutions, or public financial institutions around. And what they're saying is Wells Fargo is shutting down all personal lines of credit accounts. Now, personal line of credit, okay? Let's get that definition out the way, okay? A personal line of credit. And I don't want to go off the top of my dome. I want you to see what Google says about a personal line of credit, because I don't want to talk over anybody's head, but I want you to understand what this really means, okay? Because a lot of people really don't understand what a personal line of credit is. So I'm going to go a little bit deeper. I'm going to go a little bit further, and I'm going to try to explain this to you in layman's terms. Okay? I'm gonna break it down so it can forever be broken, so you can understand that nobody's trying to lie to you or all that good stuff. People are just so untrusting. So we trust the wrong people. Okay, so check this out. What is considered a personal line of credit? Let me make this big. They even made it an acronym for people who like stuff like that. Personal line of credit, sometimes abbreviated as a PLOC, It's a set amount of credit made available to you by a financial institution over a set period of time. That can be in the form of a credit card, or that can be in the form of them giving you an actual line of credit and giving you a checkbook. There may be fees associated with applying and having that line of credit, including application fees, maintenance fees, and all this stuff is going to vary by the lender. Now, I want you to understand something. Let's go back to what I was talking about, because Wells Fargo is about to shut down personal lines of credit. They ain't say something. It said all. And if Wells Fargo is about to do this, that means that other banks are going to start following. I need y'all to understand that. I need y'all to see what I see. Okay? I need y'all to at least acknowledge that this is a possibility that other banks are going to follow. Wells Fargo tells customers it's shuttering all personal lines of credit. What does that mean? Let's go ahead and read. Now, this should be a pretty valid, viable resource or source. It's talking about CNBC. It says the key points. The bank is shutting down all existing personal lines of credit in the coming weeks and no longer offers that product. That means that they won't be offering anymore, according to customer letters reviewed by CNBC. The revolving means a credit card, okay? Revolving credit lines, which typically lets users borrow anywhere from $3,000 to $100,000, were pitched as a way to consolidate higher interest credit card debt. So the bank, first of all, pitched this idea to consumers and customers as a way, hey, I'm going to give you a line of credit. Now, it's going to be a lower interest rate than your credit cards, because a lot of people got credit cards 24.9 or something like that. I know I had some. I was at 24.9. When my credit was jacked, that's what it was. And the typical credit card may be around that area. If you got okay credit, you may be able to get 18%. Good credit, about 13%, and then great credit, you're talking about 7% or lower. Well, you say somebody has 24% interest, and they got about 4 credit cards, and those 4 credit cards add up to about $10,000. I'm just throwing some numbers out there. Those 4 credit cards add up to about $10,000. Well, Wells Fargo says, hey, listen, I'm going to let you borrow or give you a line of credit or give you a credit card with or a line of credit of $10,000, maybe $15,000. Maybe it's a signature line of credit, signature loan, something like that. I don't know. And then you transfer those lines of credit, those other credit cards to that line, to the lower account, which was Wells Fargo. And they were pitching this idea as a way to consolidate higher interest credit card debt, pay for home renovations, or avoid overdraft fees that may be associated with checking accounts. Now, they pitched this idea as if they really cared about you. And you, me, us, customers, well, not me, but a lot of customers fell for what's called the okie doke. Where I come from, it's called the okie doke. Now, Wells Fargo warned customers that the account closures may have an impact on your credit score. When did they warn customers? This is something that the customer should have known before they got that line of credit, that if they were ever to close the account, that it may have an impact on their credit score. See, if they mention that it may, it's most likely that it will. Okay? I'm just saying. I want you to think about this. I'm sure that's a video about Wells Fargo. I could play that, but you probably won't be able to hear it. So you can actually look at the link that I put in the caption, and you can actually read this for yourself. Wells Fargo is ending a popular consumer lending product, angering some of its customers. The bank is shutting down all existing personal lines of credit in the coming weeks and has stopped offering the product, according to the letters reviewed by CNBC. The revolving lines of credit, which typically lets users borrow $3,000 to $100,000, were pitched as a way to consolidate higher interest credit cards, higher interest credit card debt, pay for home renovations. I read that already, and or avoid overdraft fees linked to checking accounts. Wells Fargo recently reviewed its product offerings and decided to discontinue offering new personal and portfolio line of credit accounts and close, listen to this, and close all existing personal accounts. The bank said that in the 6-page letter, The move would let the bank focus on credit cards and personal loans. So now, what I'm seeing now is not credit cards, it's uh lines of credit. So if you went in there and did a signature loan, then you're done. Now, there's nothing to say that they won't. Some of those credit cards won't be affected because when they start closing things, shutting things down, you don't know whose account going to be affected because people are living off of credit. Okay. Now, here's the problem. Some of these business owners, as a matter of fact, most of these business owners are using lines of credit to operate their business. Some of y'all ain't gonna like this because what comes next is I teach business credit, and I've been teaching business credit since 2017. But some people, some serious business owners don't feel the need to separate their business and their personal. Well, Wells Fargo said you need to separate it. Wells Fargo CEO Charles Scharf has been forced to make difficult decisions during the coronavirus pandemic, offloading assets and deposits and stepping back. Listen, when Wells Fargo took everybody's money, and I'm talking about pennies off of accounts, making millions and billions of dollars, they got fined, they got slapped on the wrist, and they were told to give that money back. But nobody said anything about the interest that they made off the money that they overcharged people. See, the bank ain't your friend. And I talk about this a lot. So there's going to be some people that's going to be affected by this. It says that assets and deposits and stepping back from some of the products because of limitations imposed by Federal Reserve, whatever. In 2018, the Feds barred Wells Fargo from growing its balance sheet until it fixes its compliance. See, Wells Fargo was out of compliance. They had fake accounts. Yeah, had fake accounts. Y'all can read the rest of this. Okay? Y'all can read the rest of this. All that says to me is one thing. It says this. It says that this is a sign that we need to take care of our personal finances. That's what this says. Now I'm not gonna preach to you, and it ain't gonna be too much teaching. I'm just gonna share some information with you that can help you if you are one of those people who may be affected, or if you got that idea that's going around in your mind, I need to get my stuff together. Here's what I want you to understand. If you or somebody that you know is being affected by this or going to be affected by this, you need to stop. Don't panic. Just stop for a minute. Write down all of your expenses. I want you to write down all of your bills first, not your debt, all of your bills first. Why do I say your bills first? Because your bills are most likely things that you cannot do without. You cannot survive without. A bill is different from a debt. A debt is something that you could pay off in one lump sum, but a bill is something that is recurring monthly, and whether you are debt free or not, you're gonna have expenses. You're gonna have bills. So I recommend that you write down all of your expenses, your bills first. Light bill, water bill, cable bill. If that's an expense you want to keep it. Um, internet. Um, what else? Car insurance, life insurance, groceries, gas. Those are monthly expenses. Okay. I recommend you write down all those first. And then if you're paying rent, write that down. That's an expense. That's a bill. Okay. That's not a mortgage. If you have a mortgage, then write that down as well because you got to have a roof over your head. If you got a car note, write that down. And then on the end of that, you should be writing stuff down like on the end of that, you should be writing stuff down like student loans, credit cards, personal loans, things like that. Everything that you write down that you know that you cannot live without, cannot absolutely live without, those are things that you need to focus on. You need to be looking, see, this is survival time now. Because you may see, well, I don't have a line of credit. You may have a credit card. And if Wells Fargo is doing this, other banks are going to fall in line. You may say, well, you know what? I just don't want to be the person that doesn't pay my bills. You're in survival mode now. And many of you have been in survival mode since before the pandemic. And the pandemic did nothing but show you that you should have been doing something better with your money. Nevertheless, write down all your expenses, all your bills, all your monthly expenses. And then start writing down the priority things. You got to have a roof over your head. You got to have a vehicle to drive back and forth. You got to have insurance. You got to have these things. Okay, write those things down. And now you need to start writing a budget. You need to create a budget. Create a budget, and you need to consider stop living outside of your means. You need to stop just giving your money away to people who don't care about you. That's what needs to happen. Okay? I get it. Nobody likes to be told what to do with their money. I understand. We work for a living and nobody wants to go to work and come straight home. Listen, you ain't got to worry about going to work and coming straight home because you ain't going to have no home to go to. Being an adult don't come with instructions. Being responsible is pretty much kind of like common sense. But we've been totally irresponsible, me included, with our finances, with our money. Hence is the reason why every time somebody offers you a line of credit, every time somebody offers us a credit card, every time somebody offers us something, we get it. But we don't need it. So I want you to consider that. Once you do that, look at what you cannot do without. I just showed you how to write a budget. Now, if it says that on your balance sheet or your sheet that you write down, if it says that, hey, I got 3 or 4 or 5 different credit cards that's dangling on the end, and I can't afford to pay those, I would rather not afford. I'd rather not be able to afford to pay those and keep that money, whatever it is, and work on my credit at a later date than to be struggling, suffering, and shuffling money because you prideful about paying somebody for some stuff that you couldn't afford in the first place. See, the banks already convinced us that we could afford this stuff. They convinced us that we needed this stuff. And we don't need it. We can't afford it. Most of us can't. And for those who feel like they can't afford it, is it smart? Is it smart practices? So we gotta think about these things. Now this may not be what you want to hear. This may not be what you wanted to hear. But this is what I got for you. This is it. We got to be more responsible. We got to make better decisions about our finances. And then you know what else we got to do? We got to stop making excuses. And we got to stop putting up with people who make excuses. See, nobody's going to like this. I had to learn the hard way. Well, I didn't have to learn the hard way, but I learned the hard way. You can continue to do things your way and hope that everything works out all okay. Or what you can do is create and devise a plan. Strategize right now. Start creating something that's going to help you to control your debt. See, you need to learn how to control your spending. That was my issue. My dad used to tell me, you got that money in your pocket like it's burning a hole in your pocket. Listen, the banks are not your friends. The government can care less. As a matter of fact, some congresswoman in the interview basically said that, consumers should have made better plans. They should be more responsible with their spend. They should be made better plans. It's not my fault. It's not our fault. What do you think is going to happen when people start losing more money? Crime goes up. Devious things start happening. Scams come up. I just want to encourage you to protect yourself. Now, you may not like the way the message is coming out. This ain't a kumbaya session. This is not that. It's time to get serious about our finances and how we actually think about things. If these guys have addressed to the public that they're going to do this in the upcoming weeks, that means they've been planning this for the last half a year. You understand what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? So that's all I got. I have nothing else. If you're looking to improve yourself, if you're looking to learn how to create a debt elimination plan, if you want to create a budget, if you want some recommendations, get back with the person that shared this information with you. If you come to me, I'm gonna invoice you because I'm not giving out. This is all the advice that I'm giving out here because I have a business. But I guarantee you, it's gonna be the best. It's gonna be the best invoice that you've ever paid because everybody needs a plan. We have to stop saying that we know everything. We're in our 40s, we're in our 50s, we're in our 60s, and we still don't have our ish together. We got to stop making excuses. Got to stop making excuses and start taking action. Now, once again, everybody ain't going to agree with me. Those are the people that I don't expect to see anymore. But if you're serious about getting your finances together, if people in your circle are serious about getting their finances together, share this information. Tell them they need to take some action, and these are the action steps. That's it. Hey, my name is Eric McKinley, Director of Program Development of National Business Builders. Thanks everybody who jumped on. I appreciate your time. Hopefully I didn't waste it. If it made sense to you, or if you're bold enough to share it with someone who may need to see this information or hear this information. But like I always say, when you know better, that's when you have the ability to do better. And the only knowledge that's powerful is properly applied knowledge. I would love for everybody to be successful, and that is my fault. And you say, well, you say that in a negative way. No, I don't mean in a negative way. I say it because I get so involved with people and personalities because I want them to make better decisions. I don't want them to go down the road that I went down at the age of 43, now almost 49. I don't want people to struggle and suffer. But for some people, they just got to do it their way, and I'm cool with that. But if you want to be at the top, that's what we'll be waiting on you. Y'all take care.